everyone, this is Sam Muir for Ukulele Magazine and welcome to this tutorial on Etude No. 2 from Opus 60 by Fernando, a piece originally written for the guitar but arranged here for the ukulele. Now this arrangement is for high G tuning because there's quite a few little campanellas in the arrangement. Before we begin, we'll just have a quick look at the timing. Now notice how it's in 3/4 time, or 3 crotchets or quarter notes per bar. And if you just glance your eyes across the notation, you can see that the movement is mostly in quarter notes, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, but now bar 2, 1, 2 and 3. So there are some quavers or eighth notes as well that we need to watch out for. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. I'm going to refer to my fretting hand fingers as 1, 2, 3 and 4, and my picking hand fingers as P, I, M and A. Now the reason for those letters is that they come from the Spanish words for these digits. So thumb is pulgar, hence P, index finger is indices, which is I, M is middle finger or medio in Spanish, and then A, the ring finger, is annular. So P, I, M and A. Also have a look at the key signature. There's a B flat, isn't there? So we're in the key of F major. Now before I start playing, I'm just having a look at the whole of the first bar, and I'm going to place my first finger on the first fret of the E string, ready for that third note. So although I'm beginning with open strings, which is easy, I like to be prepared for what's coming up. All right, so I've got that finger down right from the start. And my picking pattern is P, M, I. Now into the second bar, first finger again, it stayed down, didn't it? And then open. Here's my little campanella run. So we begin with the F in first position, and then I've shifted it so I get the overringing. So now the E, F and G are all blending into each other to create that campanella effect. And the picking for that is going to be M and then M, I, P. So the reason for using 2 M fingers is because I've got a long note here which gives me time to get my M finger organized, and then here we've got the eighth notes, the quavers. They're faster, so it's really important to have the fingers sorted out for those faster notes. And M, I, P works really nicely across the strings. Now moving into the third bar, I'm going to begin with the open C, and I'm going to use my thumb again. So I really like to have my thumb playing those first beat notes because it just gives a little bit more depth to the sound. All right, so here we are in the third bar. Here's my B flat with the first finger, and then third finger onto the G. That's easy enough. Moving into the fourth bar. Watch out for the eighth notes there. 1, 2 and 3. And my picking pattern, P, I, P, M. Note how I kept the first finger down, and that's because moving into bar 5, okay, it's an open C to start with, but then I've got another F and I'm already set up for that. So it's not just about thinking about which note is coming next immediately. It's also about looking a little bit further ahead. Which notes can you leave down? Which notes do you need to release? All right, so that's definitely a case for keeping the first finger on. Let's pick it up from bar 4. So, and then bar 5. Now I'm going to release as I play that open A, because going into bar 6 I've got a shift of position. I want to get up the fingerboard. First finger is going to go onto the C on the 3rd fret, and now I want to create my little campanella effect. So my B flat has moved to the 6th fret of the E string. So instead of here, it's here, and it creates that special effect. I just get more overringing from the notes. It's more interesting. Okay, bar 7, back to first position. There's my F again, kind of grounding us in the tonic. But now wait for bar 8. It's like, why is there an F sharp? It's wild, isn't it? I love that. It's really kind of crunchy. And notice how I shifted my first finger from first position. I just slid up to the F sharp at the beginning of bar 8. And that's because I want to play the F natural on the 5th fret of the C string. All right, so the F sharp, and then my little run in Campanella, which ends my first phrase but leads me into the second phrase as well. So it's a really nice little ending and beginning all in one. It's really clever. And you'll notice that bar 9 is the same as the first bar. This is also the same. Also the same. Now, the notes in bars 4 and 12 are the same, but when I get to play them in the second phrase, I've moved them, so I've got them moving across the strings. And I'll play bar 12 for you. Everything moving across the strings. And then moving on into bar 13, back to first position with our little tonic sounding figure. And now up to the C, and then down to the B flat. So the ending's a little bit different of this phrase, isn't it? It actually changes, the last 3 bars of that phrase are different. Let's pick it up from bar 17. So we've got open strings. There's my C major, and now the F, but this time it's sounding more as a G7, isn't it, than an F major, rather than... Watch out for the rhythm as well, because in that bar 18, minim or half note, so you've got to hold it for 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and here we go again. 1, 2, 3. Now, nice little chromatic figure. C, B, B flat, and it's going to lead us to the open A. I'm just going to pause there because we need to look at bar 23 in a bit more detail, because there's quite a lot going on. Now, there's 2 options for the fretting hand fingering. So you can either just slide 1 and 2 up and back, which is quite nice. I quite like that. So coming from 22, and then up you go and back. Or you can play it 4, 3, open, 1, 2, open. A little bit of work to do for 4 and 3. It depends how comfortable you are with using the pinky finger. I quite like the slide up and back, to be honest. Let's pick it up from bar 25. Now we begin with just a nice little C major sounding arpeggio, and I used P, I, P, and now 26. There's my tonic, F major, and it's P, I, and M. Now, as I go into 27, I'm going to go up the fingerboard and play my B flat on the 6th fret of the E string. So I get my overringing effect. And then in 28, I'm going to reposition my pinky. It's going to move from the E string to the C string, 6th fret, and there's my F sharp again in that bar 28. Now let's move into 29, back to an F natural. My picking pattern for those 2 bars, that's 28 and 29, P, I, P, M, I, and then I tend to go P, M, I, P. Let's go on into bar 30. We're going back to first position. And then watch out here, because in bar 31 there's quite a bit of work to do, and I'm going to play the C with my index finger. Lots of little campanellas going on. So we've got the C, and and then the open G, the B flat on the 6th fret of the E string, open A, and then my third finger can drop onto the F, the 5th fret. So I, P, I, M, I, P. 32, open strings, which gives me a chance to place my pinky on the 5th fret. Another open string, back to first position, C sharp, going up to the D. Now, don't do what I just did and use 1 and 2 because I want to prepare for what's coming next. I'm going to play this bar 34, open obviously, and then 1, and 1 is going to slide up because that's going to make the stretch up to the B flat much easier than if I had my second finger down. Then it would be like, whoa, that's too far. So from bar 33, and we should talk about the picking pattern because it is quite tricky. I was thinking that as I was playing it. So M, I, P, M, I, and then I like to go P so that my I is free for the B flat, and then M, P, I, M, and then P for the final bit. First finger on the C and pinky finger on the B flat. This is the same as the first phrase, isn't it, where we had the C and the B flat. So first finger and pinky finger, P, M, I, M, I, and I'm going to jump back and use my pinky on the F, so that then I can use 2 and 3 for the B flat and the G, and 1, and then the open and the first finger on the tonic note F. A little bit of work to do both hands for the last 4 bars. Picking is P, M, I, P, and then P and M together, and then I, and then P, I like to use P and M there, and then I. You could go P, M, I, and then I, M together, and then M. That's also quite nice, isn't it? So there, it really depends on your hand and what you prefer. So all of the fingerings, just treat them as suggestions. You know, if you think that doesn't work for me, that's fine. Do something different. I'm not saying this is how you have to play it. I'm just saying this is how I would approach it, and everyone's a little bit different. So to finish up with, I think we should play the whole thing through at a nice leisurely tempo. There is a video of this piece on YouTube with me playing it up to tempo, so you can use that as a reference as well. But for the purposes of this tutorial, we're just going nice and slowly and really focusing on organising our fingers. So from the top, all the way through, 1, 2, 3. Thanks for joining me in this tutorial, and I really hope you enjoy playing this little etude by Saw on the ukulele, which is a nice introduction to playing in Campanella style, I think. Have fun with it.